Open the meeting, it's 5:45. The meeting is being recorded by Area 58. The first thing on our agenda is an executive session to discuss town council contract pursuant to General Laws 30A, Section 21A2, to conduct strategy sessions and preparations for negotiation with non-union personnel, Local 1700 Halifax Mixed Unit pursuant to Chapter 38, Section 21A3 to discuss strategy with respect to collective bargaining, if open meeting would have detrimental effect, which it would, and also to address the executive session minutes from August 19th, 2024. I'll move that we move into executive session.
I'll second that.
All right, roll call. Tom?
Yes.
John?
Yes.
I vote yes. All right, we'll be back at 6 o'clock.
The lights on.
I apologize, we're late, we're running a few minutes late, but we'll get right to business. As Cody shows up, we should be good. All right, so we'll come back into open session. One thing we didn't do before we went into executive session was the Pledge of Allegiance, so if you join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, so we're late on our appointments. Our first appointment is with Mike Rignetta. And Mike, why don't you come on up front here for a minute? This is for the Finance Committee. And you're the chairman, you're representing them.
So the Finance Committee's already met with Mr. Rignetta, and he's answered all of our questions, and I think we've got a general consensus that we'd like him to join the committee, so we have brought him here for your contract.
Excellent, thank you, Jim. Okay, so why don't you just tell the board a little bit about yourself for anybody who may not know you, and what you think about the Finance Committee.
This one on? Is this one on?
None of them work. We did.
Picking us up on Area 58?
All right, so as long as it's being recorded, we're good. I'll just talk loud. How's that? Better? Okay. So, Mike, if you want to just...
You just want to get a new microphone from Caesar.
Okay, yeah, we can keep moving. You want to just tell us a little bit about yourself and what you think about being on the Finance Committee?
Sure. Michael Rignetta. I moved to Halifax just short of 5 years ago. Come from a business background. I owned my own company in my early 20s. Left that late 20s and went on to work on several different nonprofit boards. Now, for the past 17 years, I've been working as the manager and on the executive team with a company called 4 Kicks. So company-wide, helping that company grow. Spent the past 4 years in Halifax on the Council on Aging Board and just want to be able to be more involved in town and contribute in a meaningful way. Finance Committee, I think, is something that would give me opportunity to learn more about the town and the inner workings and contribute meaningfully. So the opening came up, so here I am.
Excellent.
Open to questions if you have any.
Yes. Anybody on the board have any questions?
Yeah, I would just ask.
Oh, that was there.
I would just. Let's find a happy medium here. Hello, got me? No? Yeah. I would just ask what you expect your level of commitment to be with the weekly or bi-weekly meetings as they arise. Do you foresee any times problems with your schedule?
I don't. My work schedule, actually, my real job is my schedule.
Okay.
Less time committed there, and reduced a lot of my other personal responsibilities as far as other activities. I used to coach soccer full-time as well. That was not happening on purpose.
Okay.
So yeah, so this is a main focus.
So you believe that, within reason, you'd be able to make most meetings with notice?
The meeting schedule actually works better than the Council on Aging meeting on a personal level, so yes.
And do you have any other close personal relationships with anybody else on the Finance Committee?
I do not.
Thank you.
Mike, one thing we're looking to do is get our boards and committees some training. Would you be open, we as a select group came up with the idea of making training mandatory. Are you open-minded to, if the board recommends some training, would you be okay to do it?
Yes, 100%.
Awesome. And I will say, I spoke with Mike. We had a meeting a couple months ago, Mike, and very impressed, very bright gentleman, so I'm excited at the thought of Mike being on our Finance Committee.
Thank you, appreciate that.
Yeah.
Excellent. Okay, if there's no other questions from the board, I would make a motion to appoint Mr. Rugnetta to the Finance Committee with a term to expire June 15th, 2026.
I would second.
Thank you. Any discussion? No. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Unanimous. Thank you very much for volunteering.
Thank you for volunteering.
Welcome on board.
Appreciate it, thank you.
Good luck with Jim.
So just one thing to note, you will have to resign from the COA board, Mike,
Yes,
and just get sworn in by the town clerk and you'll be good to go.
Okay, next we have Cassandra Doyle Wadden, possible appointment to beautification. Hi, Cassandra.
Hello.
Come on up. So you've had the opportunity to see a little bit of what we do. Do you want to tell us about yourself and what your interest is in this committee?
Yeah, so yesterday was actually my second anniversary of buying my first home here in Halifax.
Welcome.
Thank you.
It's God's country.
Yeah, right. I'm from Western Mass, another small little town, very similar to Halifax, and it's the reason why we moved here. We want to grow up, we want our kids to have the same experience that I had growing up. I am kind of passionate about my community, and I really wanted to be involved, especially in the beautification committee. I have an environmental science background, and I used to be a middle and high school teacher, which we would do a lot in our communities, especially setting up gardens and such stuff like that after school. And yeah, just really want to be a part of town, get to know the town a little bit better, and do my part in making sure it's beautiful.
Fantastic. I should have asked the beautification committee, did you folks recommend it, I assume?
Yeah, I think she's okay.
Okay. Any questions
She's
from-
already designed a flyer for us, attended meetings, and last spring she did the cleanup.
She hasn't been able to vote, but she's been there.
Excellent. Good. So you've been attending meetings and everything. Very good. First of all, thank you for volunteering. We do need volunteers. It's helpful to get things done, and it's the best way to get to know the community, especially when you're new to it, and the people that live here. So thank you.
Yeah.
Any questions from the board?
No, thank you.
No, it's a great group. I was able to do a couple of events with them, and you'll see Tina and Shirley and the crew, they do a great job, so you're in good hands.
All right, so I will make a motion to appoint Cassandra Doyle Wadden to the Beautification Committee with a term to expire June 30th, 2025.
I'll second.
Any discussion? All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? It's unanimous. Welcome aboard.
Thank you.
Oh, well, Cassandra and Mike, you do have to go down to the clerk's office and be sworn in before you can actually vote. You can go to meetings and stuff, but you're not supposed to vote until you're actually sworn in, okay?
There's a $100 sitting fee, too.
Okay, let's see. Next is up Conservation Commission, Paul Doucette. Hi, Mr. Doucette, you want to come on up? So by now you should understand our procedure, so...
My name is Paul Lucetta. I lived in Halifax for 38 years. Retired. I'm environmentally conscious. I'd like to see the wetlands of Halifax preserved, and I want to volunteer some time.
All right. Alan, you're the chairman. You recommend?
Yes, the Conservation Commission met with Mr. Doucette. Very comfortable with his attitude. We voted unanimously to recommend him to the Selectmen for appointment.
All right, thank you. Okay, any questions from the board?
Mr. Doucette, just really quick, you're not like any sort of developer or anything or any...
I am not.
Okay, just wanted to see if there was any sort of possible conflict of interest or anything. Great.
Do you have any close relationships with anybody in the Conservation Committee at the moment? Friendships, personal relationships?
Do I have any what?
Any personal relationships or close relationships outside of the Conservation Committee, with the members of the Conservation Committee, Alan or otherwise?
No.
And I forget, your background is in environmental?
No, I'm environmentally conscious. I don't have any background, but I'm
Okay.
willing to learn and put some time in it.
Okay, and so your interest in the Conservation Commission is as an environmentally conscious person, that kind of a thing?
And again, Paul, the same question, if we'd like to get our committee members some training, just to help you guys out and give you the tools. If we asked you to do some training to make sure you're up to snuff, would you be okay with doing that?
No problem.
Great.
The Conservation Committee's undergone quite a few changes in the last 6 to 18 months. People resigning, people coming on. Do you foresee any problems with your commitment level and or longevity as it relates to the committee if appointed?
No problem.
No.
Great.
Very good. Okay, so I will make a motion to appoint Mr. Doucette.
Excuse me, just one more quick question. I'm sorry. We had no other applicants that chose to be interviewed. Is that correct? No other applicants that appeared before you?
That's correct.
Okay.
I believe there was one other submission, and it was sent to the Conservation Commission. I think Alan tried contacting, but...
Yes, we did have one person that filled out one of your forms, and I reached out right away, because I think the email went out to all departments. I did reach out. I wanted to meet with him personally to see just where he was as far as whether he was a good fit for Conservation, Board of Appeals. But he had some personal issues that happened, and so now we're trying to reconnect.
You're trying to reconnect with the person you never met with after, okay. But this appointment would supersede that vacancy, so we're comfortable with Paul's.
Absolutely. Plus, the Conservation Commission is 5 members with 2 alternates. So the more the merrier. I've got an issue tonight possibly with a lack of a quorum. So having the 5th or 6th person would help us greatly to make sure that we do have a quorum.
Thank you.
Yes.
Who was the other applicant? What was the name? You don't have it on you, you can't.
I don't have it.
We can't share that at this point either, because that individual hasn't said if they're actually interested in the Conservation Commission. So once they were to express that, then we could share that publicly, like an applicant for a job.
Well, it's a public forum that they put on to see it.
It's not public until they're considered for the position. Okay.
All right, any other questions from the board, comments? So I'll make that motion to appoint Mr. Doucette for a term to the Conservation Commission for a term to expire June 30th, 2027.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
That's unanimous. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Mr. Doucette, and
Thank you very
look
much.
forward to working with you.
Thank you, Paul.
Thank you.
Okay, so, Kimberly Campbell.
Yep. She's in the
Kimberly
back row.
Campbell? Oh, hi, come on up.
Come on down, Kim. You're the next contestant.
So we are, oh, here it is. So this is a live request for a live entertainment permit, the farm at Ravensbrook. And for a live musician, and it's on several dates starting September 27th, 28th, the weekends, like October 11th and 12th, 13th, 18th, 19th, 25th, 26th, November 1st, and November 2nd. And is that it? Just the live entertainment? Nothing else, right?
Correct, at this point.
Okay, and so that's just a live entertainment. You've already been interviewed, or at least the police and fire have looked at this. We have okays from the police, the fire department, and the Board of Health. So do you want to just, I suppose this is a commercial venture, so besides telling us what to do, you get a little free advertising if you want to tell us what's going on.
We're a Christmas tree farm by trade, but we're having an event leading up to our Christmas tree season, so fall on the farm, and we're going to have food trucks, well, a food truck, maybe some lawn games, music, just a place to have outdoor space to hang out with family and friends.
Okay, fantastic. Any questions from the board?
No, I'm just curious, what kind of music do we know?
So far, Jeff Rosen.
Oh, he's great. Jeff's
Steve
awesome.
Littlefield.
Steve Littlefield?
Yes.
Musician?
Acoustics.
He's not bringing
yes.
an army band, is he?
What? You buried the lead, Campbell.
One group from Carver.
Awesome.
And their name has escaped me, and another band that plays at Thursday nights at the food truck in Kingston.
Oh, great. Well, I wish you luck.
Is this the second or third year you've done this?
This is our 6th year in business, but this will be our first time doing something like this.
Oh, that's great.
Excellent.
You have a beautiful spot.
Terrific property.
Yeah, it really
Yes,
is.
it's excellent.
If anybody hasn't been, check it out.
Same.
Yeah. And you will be getting, I think somebody might be reaching out for holidays in Halifax if somebody hasn't already.
They have not.
Okay. Stay tuned.
All right, so I'll move that we approve the permit for the dates as listed for the farm at Ravenbrook for live entertainment.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That's unanimous. Looking forward to
Good luck,
your
Kim.
visit.
Thank you very much.
Yep.
Thank you.
I'll get that to you. I'll give you a call.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Yeah.
All right, so that brings us to, we can go back up to the top here and do the warrants and commitments.
I move to affirm approval of the following commitment, ambulance commitments, July 29, 2024 through August 4, 2024, for $23,869.51.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That's unanimous.
I move to approve of the following warrants. Vendor warrant number 15 for $435,765.12. School warrant number 16 for $127,651.59. Payroll warrant number 17 for $267,050.24. A vendor warrant number 18 for $131,717.56. A withholding warrant number 19 for $77,516.19.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? It's unanimous. We just did the bills and commitments, so we'll go to that. Okay, so under new business, we have an email from Tom Schindler, dated August 20th. I am retiring from my job with the building maintenance department and taking a part-time job with the Halifax Elementary School. I'll be working nights 4 to 8 p.m. Gives me more time to work on his hot dogs. He thanks Scott Materna for being his boss, and he had a nice time there. So we don't need to accept it. We're just going to acknowledge it.
Yeah, we were going to have him in. He was unable to make it tonight, but he's worked for the town for almost 20 years. So we just wanted to thank him for his service and wish him well.
Actually, longer than that, if you consider the Call Fire Department. He was on that
It's
for at least
42
20
years.
What's that?
42 years.
That says 42.
Yeah.
Tom's a great guy. I guess we'll try to have him come in some night just for appreciation, or at least send him a letter.
Yeah, we'll send him.
Congratulating him on his retirement. Need a motion for that? I don't think so.
No, we'll get something sent. It'll be tough for him to come in. He works evenings at the new job, at the elementary school, so it might be a little more difficult.
Okay, let's see. We have Selectmen meeting, regular session of August 19th. Anything more here than we went into an executive session and then came back out again. So I'll move that we approve the meeting minutes for the regular session for August 19th, 2024.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? It's unanimous. I'm going to skip over across here and do the road openings. That'll take less time.
Yeah. So 2 road openings, 132 and 132A Plymouth Street and 596 Monpont Street.
Okay, and these are both Eversource?
They are.
Yes, both Eversource for gas. So I will make a motion to approve the road opening of 132 and 132A Plymouth Street. We have, let's see, recommendations from the highway surveyor about what can be done.
They've received all approvals with some detail officers.
And detail officers, okay. So with those stipulations, I will make that motion.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That's unanimous. And then we have another one. This is for 596 Monpont Street, again, Eversource. We have stipulations from the highway surveyor and also a stipulation from the police for a detail officer. So I will make that motion.
Yep, I will second.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That's unanimous. Town meeting. see, we have a request from the Congregational Church, our neighbor. On behalf of the Congregational Church, I am asking permission to use a space in front of the town hall for the annual flea market fundraising event. The requested space includes a circular driveway, the lawn area directly in front of town hall, and the small lawn area to the left of town hall with the flower garden, which will be utilized for individual vendors and crafts. The entrance to the circular driveway from both sides will be blocked off using town cones to keep it safe. The flea market will be held on Saturday, September 14th from 10 a.m. to 3, with a rain date of Saturday, September 28th. They have been in conversation to coordinate the flea market with the farmer's market, and they apparently are in agreement and asked for if there are any questions. In the spaces other than the farmer's market, it's open?
Yes, yeah.
All right.
She talked to Mr. King. So.
Okay.
That was my only question.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll make a motion to approve use of the town hall green for the Congregational Church.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? It's unanimous. Signature authority form.
This is just another standard procedure. The Water Department, in the absence of the superintendent, has asked that the chairman of the commission, Richard Clark, be able to sign payroll.
So I will move that we approve Richard Clark as the signature person if Mr. Lindsay's unavailable.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Yes. So that brings us down to, let's see, we'll deal with board selectmen goals, I guess. Oh, we could do our meeting schedule, that's a good idea.
So the board had previously approved a meeting schedule for the full calendar year 24. I just wanted to revisit it as we come, close in on the end of the year. There are a couple conflicts that I have, not to say, you can certainly still meet. I just wanted to bring it up. It's up to you. There's a couple times here where we go 3 weeks between meetings. So the first conflict is the 24th, September 24th. So, yeah.
Oh, I see. Oh, okay. Yep. All right, good. Yep.
So it's up to the board how you want to handle it. You can still meet. You could do another meeting on the 17th, which would be directly after the 10th. You could forego that meeting and go right to the October 8th, as it's a somewhat slower time of the year.
This is the conflict with your schedule.
It is, yeah.
All right, so the 17th, I will be out of town myself. I think we can probably hold a meeting without the town administrator one time, just to see how we do.
Famous last words, John.
How bad can it get? So, before you go, you'll have an agenda and everything
Yeah,
all
well,
set up?
it'll be all set up. I just won't physically be present for the meeting.
Okay.
We'll make sure it's all
Yeah,
set up.
we'll see if we can manage without.
I think you'll be okay. Yeah, just want to make sure. And then the other one is November 5th. So initially I had planned to be away the week of December 16th, but we are looking at holding a special town meeting that date, so I have made arrangements to change my plans. So I will not be here on November 5th as a result of that reschedule. So, you could do a 10/29 meeting, or you could, leave at the 5th, or you could forego the meeting. I just wanted to bring it to your attention.
How much time do we need to, the September one, I understand making a call on, do we need to decide now on November 5th? Is that necessary? Or can we see
You don't need
as we
to. I
approach?
just wanted to bring it up and be prepared, because we, in our office, we prepare these things, significantly in
Weeks in
advance, and we
advance.
plan out these agendas. So, we have a document that I put together, projected agendas, and I project out up to 6 months sometimes.
Okay.
But you certainly don't have to. We can leave it on, and if there's a need for it, you meet. If there isn't a need for it, you don't meet. You can plan to meet. I just wanted to make sure you're aware.
Sure. No, I understand. I'm just wondering.
Tom raises a good point. Why don't we put it on for discussion on the 22nd of October with the idea that if we think
we
there's
need it.
things that we need to do, we can keep it on. If not, we can reschedule it. That's a good idea.
Good idea, newbie.
Okay, is that the only one?
Yep, that's it.
Okay. Let's, selectmen goals, you ready for that?
Sure, we can run through that. So I printed out the goals that the board had previously approved in June of 2023. I think it's important to review these goals on a regular basis. We've done it a couple times since the board voted on them. That's the point of tonight, is really to go through these, to recognize what has been done. And then also it's important, I think, to get your feedback so we can adjust these goals and determine, what are the goals that you want for the town going forward. And a lot of these will stay on. They're kind of more reoccurring things that we want to strive for. But we'll go through and discuss them. So obviously there's 5 main goals here that were adopted. And goal 1 is maintaining sound fiscal health without overrides, identify strategies to balance budgets within constraints of Prop 2.5, new growth in local receipts, and the key actions within that are developing strong financial policies and identify and analyze data and trends that will impact the town's future. This is again more of an ongoing thing. It's consistent. We're working with the Finance Committee now to update some of our financial policies. We're hoping to do that actually within the next month or so. Develop a capital maintenance and improvement plan to optimize service levels and taxpayer expenses. We have that now. We have a 5-year capital plan reinstituted that we're able to project, down the next 5 years, and we ask all of our departments to update that regularly. But last year, with the Capital Planning Committee and the Finance Committee, we were able to institute that plan. So that goal is complete, and now we just need to make sure we're keeping up with it. Institute financial forecasting to show 5-year budgetary projections and use this information to evaluate the sustainability of existing and future service levels. So again, this is something that we historically did not have. We did not have 5-year budget projections. We did not really have trends analysis. Working with our financial team, we've been able to institute this. We're always updating these figures. But I think, you heard me mention at the last meeting, reviewing the trends and analysis of the solid waste enterprise fund, that this is a very good example of having that data and being able to review it, because we were able to identify that we have a problem and we can't sustain this operation unless we make changes. So it's important to have those things, and we have that now, and it's now just important to keep up with them. Work with the Department of Revenue to conduct a financial management review. That was done, that was completed. You had reviewed that report, so that's another one checked off. And then we always want to negotiate contracts to balance financial realities with the goals for effective, efficient delivery of services. That's one of those ones that I think we keep on there. We were able to settle all of our collective bargaining agreements, but we always want to strive for all of our contracts to be financially reality. That brings us to goal number 2, which is long-range strategic planning. Goal number 1 was to secure funding to engage the services of a consultant to begin the process of developing a master plan. We had applied for a grant through Old Colony Planning Council. We did not get the grant, but we are in the process of applying for another grant for that master plan. So that's another one we can put on to the next year's goals, because I think it's very important that we have a master plan, an updated master plan. Review the organizational structure of the town and recommend changes to bylaws, policies to create a more efficient and centralized operational structure. We've done several things with this, with the reporting structure, and the org chart is one of those examples. Working with the Collins Center on the HR study, we tried making some structural changes and updating our wage and personnel bylaw. Obviously that didn't pass the town meeting, but we did try cleaning that up. We can certainly continue to strive for that. Support the efforts of the Zoning Bylaw Review Committee to accurately update the town zoning bylaws to meet current legal standards and municipal best practices. We're nearing the finish line for that one, so that's another one we'll be able to check off very soon. Goal number 3 is to evaluate current town-wide service levels in order to identify potential operational and organizational efficiencies and technology enhancement opportunities which will streamline town processes, increase online service offerings, provide exceptional customer service to residents, businesses, and the general public. So key action item number 1 was to conduct that human resource review for best management practices and strategies. We got a grant for that. We engaged with the Collins Center out of UMass Boston. They have been working on that for about 8 months. I got a first draft of the plan, so we're working to get that finalized. That'll be actually before you within the next month or 2. And with that is all new policies for our HR and just streamlining that. So that'll be a very good thing for the town.
Did that involve bylaw changes?
Part of their report is recommended bylaw changes, but a significant portion of things that we can implement immediately in just making sure we have best practices, policies, things like sexual harassment policies, and making sure we're getting out the correct notices. An efficient onboarding process was one of the weaknesses that we identified. We'll make sure we're giving the same information to all of the new employees. Right now, or historically, it had been kind of scattered. It was on the employee. And the last thing you want to do is make a new employee kind of run around. We want to make them feel welcome and give them these things. So
It seems to me that when we do this report, when we evaluate or when we look at this report, that this ought to be done as our position with the wage and personnel.
Yep, it will be.
So the joint finance committee and so on, because that's really wage and personnel issues.
Action item number 2 was to secure funding and begin the selection and implementation of online service offerings to support departmental operations. So the major aspect here was with online licensing and permitting. We got a grant to the tune of $75,000. We procured with OpenGov, which is one of the leaders in municipal online permitting, and we implemented that. Thank you to our team here. And we are now online with our building department, our zoning departments, and planning departments. And the goal is to get everybody online within the next year or so. So that's another big win for the town. Evaluate current organizational staffing roles and responsibilities to develop new staffing and organizational plans to meet future needs of the government. You saw this with some of the positions that we've created efficiencies within. So zoning and planning is a good example of this. We combined those 2 part-time positions, elevated it, made it a full-time position, providing full-time service to our residents. You saw this with just the MOA that you approved for the highway department, elevating that to a procurement level position to oversee procurement. And we're consistently looking at positions. We're undergoing this with our building maintenance department right now with Tom Schindler's retirement and what's the best method there. So that's another ongoing one, but those are just some examples. And the last action item under goal 3 is to explore opportunities for shared services, which we're consistently doing. I regularly meet with Kingston and Plimpton and other town administrators in the area. Bridgewater, as you know, we're going to share a conservation agent with, and I'll give some more information in that with our update, but the conservation agent's a good example. Another example of that would be with Bridgewater when we were without a full-time building commissioner. We were able to quickly really slide in, and Steve Solari, their building commissioner, jumped into action, and the town really didn't suffer because of that. So formalizing some of those relationships, we're working on intermunicipal agreements to formalize those, so it just happens if it needs to. Goal number 4, to improve communication and transparency with the public. So just establishing means to improve two-way communication. There's been several things that we've done and adopted. So there was the Halifax that we implemented. Residents don't necessarily take full advantage of that, but it is a means. We still monitor that regularly. We implemented it. We respond to people. Upgrade the existing website. We haven't upgraded the software or the platform itself, but we have done significant training with our department heads and our department level staff to make sure that they are posting updated information, because we want residents to be able to go to our website and use it as a resource. So that's something we're still looking to do, is upgrade the website, but I think we've seen an uptick in our departments utilizing the website and actually posting accurate and timely information. Community visioning and decision-making via social media with Area 58 and the website. Again, this is updating information. We started Cody's Corner with Area 58. We're going to look to do that quarterly rather than monthly now, but continuing that. And then just inform the public on positive and impactful projects happening in town. Eva, the intern, was in here recently giving an update on the newsletter, so things like that, and keeping it positive in the information to the public. So we've actually done a really nice job with the communication aspect of it. And then the last goal, number 5, is to support modern governance, enhance intergovernmental relations, and foster a culture of excellence. And some of these key action items are evaluate appointed committees for continued need support. This, again, is something that the board has done a nice job of in continually evaluating the need of these boards and committees as they come up. Evaluate ways to increase participation of diverse, high-quality candidates for appointments to board and committees. And a lot of this is, we revise our talent bank form, posting these openings on the website, keeping our website up to date, and just bringing in different candidates. Workshop meetings with boards and committees. This is something that we definitely can improve on, but we have had several boards and committees in before the Board of Selectmen just to have those ongoing communications. Adopt a code of conduct for elected and appointed officials. You did that, and we review that annually, so that's something else that was done. And then provide training to boards and committees with complex regulatory requirements to high-quality experience by members of the community. You recently adopted that training policy and just sticking up with that. So I think what you see is we have done a lot in the town in the past year. This is, I mean, I'm not surprised. Obviously, this is a testament to you guys on the board, but really the staff here. You don't accomplish these things without a really good team in place. So it really is a kudos to the team here. That is a list of many things, and that is a list of many very high-level things that are a lot of work. And these are a lot of things that are beyond the day-to-day things that all of our departments deal with, and in addition to so many other things that have been accomplished. So just wanted to relay that, make sure that the board is kind of aware of everything going on, and also that the public knows that, these are some goals that you guys adopted a little over a year ago, and all of that has been accomplished. And certainly not all of it, right? There's things that we still need to work on, and this is a good opportunity for us to reflect and pivot, right, on now we've done all of these things, what do we want to focus on now? And so this is the point of this, is really to get the conversation started, to reflect on everything that's been done, but also, as the chief policymakers of the town, the direction that you want to see go in the next year, several years, right? Because this isn't a yearly document. I mean, we want to review it regularly, but you're not going to accomplish the level of what I just went through every year, year after year. That was an extraordinary year, but we certainly want to make sure that the goals that the board has reflect you three on what your goals are for the town. And we also want to update this so our staff know what the direction the board wants to go in, and also all of your appointed boards and committees, because almost everything that we do, we try to align with the board's goals, because again, you're the chief policymakers of the town. So you don't need to make decisions tonight, but I do think it's important that you start thinking about your goals individually as selectmen, and then collectively as a board, where you want to see the town go over the next year, 5 years. And we can put this on maybe the next agenda, give you time to think about it, and then rework these goals, and we can readopt them in the next couple months or so.
Any comments?
Yeah, I remember when this list was put together, and I thought it was an incredibly ambitious list, and I thought we would tick a couple things off. I am floored at how much we've done in a year, and kudos to you, Cody, and kudos to the board, and kudos to people here at Town Hall. It's amazing when you list it out like that, Cody, how much we've done in a year. So, super proud of our team. Super proud of our team, and I'm looking forward to coming up with new ideas for the next year. And I think you're right, Cody, it's a living document. We have to continually look back and see, number one, what we did, but number two, where we want to go from here. But I agree, for coming out of the gate, that is a strong start. And I'm looking forward to what we can do as we go on.
I don't really have too many changes. I think some of these are long-term goals. Most of these are all long-term goals that need to be continuously addressed. Some of them you took care of, which was really excellent. So, I mean, I think that really kind of summarizes the ideas that I would have had anyway in terms of the future. And they're broad goals, so they can always be adjusted a little bit. But I think that's a pretty good document. So.
Yeah, I would just add that I wasn't here at the adoption of these goals, but while there's always room to grow, I think that's a pretty solid start, and a testament to Cody and the team that put them in, and the team that worked on them throughout the year, back office staff and everyone in the front lines. And I think that, it's a good start. There's always room to grow and improve and keep checking things off the list, so onward and upward. But I think that's a good start. And I think high-level organization is important, and I think we have that with Cody here on this, and I think it's important to note.
Absolutely.
Okay. Very good. I'm going to just skip over the Taylor McSherry thing for 1 second, because I want to deal with the special town meeting date. I think that's important, and it shouldn't take us too long to talk about.
So, as you know, we need to have a special town meeting to address, in particular, the MBTA zoning requirement. The state requires us to be in compliance by the end of the calendar year. So the plan with the zoning bylaw review committee is to present a potential zoning amendment that would allow us to be in compliance, and then also all of the other zoning changes that the committee has been working on to address at the same time. So, you know, in speaking with Old Colony Planning Council, we brought on to assist us with the public outreach aspect of it, in speaking with council and the moderator. Time is ticking, right? The year is really flying by. We need to get this done. Initially, we had hoped to get it done in the fall. Here we are, it's already, you know, next week is September. So an October town meeting didn't look feasible. We need to get this before the planning board. The planning board has to have a public hearing on it, make a recommendation. So then we looked at November, and even that was really tight when you looked at everyone's schedule. So that pushed us into December. We were hoping to do the first or second week of December, but the moderator had some scheduling conflicts. So that pushed us to the week of December 16th, which is the date that tentatively works for everybody for town meeting. It's Monday, December 16th. We propose that works for council, that works for the moderator, that works. I spoke with John, I think I've spoken with you guys individually, and it tentatively worked. So that's what we're looking at. And then the 17th would be proposed as a backup date for some weather, or if we couldn't, you know, get a quorum. So with that, tonight,
changes to me. I think we're going to have a quorum.
With that, I did put together a little schedule of dates that was included in the paperwork here.
Yes, all right, good job.
So just running through these quickly, and these are all subject to change, but I just wanted to give you an idea that things are tight, but I think they're feasible. Hopefully you vote and agree tonight to set the special town meeting date of December 16th. On your meeting on September 10th, we would, you guys would review all of the zoning articles and make a recommendation to the planning board. And you would also vote to open the special town meeting warrant with it to close on November 4th. Around the week of, I put 10/8, but it's going to be the week of 10/8, a public workshop on the MBTA zoning with the Old Colony Planning Council and our state delegates. We're going to get that planned. Planning for around October 18th for the planning board to hold their public hearing on the zoning changes. We close the special town meeting warrant on November 4th. Your November 19th meeting, you would vote on the final warrant. We would send the warrant to print the very next day. They need about a week to get it out. Hopefully it would go out, you know, in that week time frame, and then that gets into the residents' mailbox 2 weeks before town meeting. Town meeting's on the 16th. So.
I just point out that we have the zoning bylaw committee. Really, I can't say enough about that group. They're fantastic. They have worked very hard to review not only for the MBTA, which in and of itself was a project, but also the entire zoning bylaw. The bylaw itself hasn't, I wouldn't say it's had drastic changes. There are some changes to it, but nothing drastic. The MBTA one, of course, is going to be a big issue. We would have liked to have had this done earlier, but it was held up through, we were able to send it back to the state for kind of a preliminary approval, sort of, in other words, we sent it to them and said, well, do you see any problems? So it took them at least 60 days, if not longer.
It was 97, I think.
Yeah, so, which is nothing we could do about that. And they did send it back. They did some very, very modest changes that we were easily able to address. So we're ready to go. And, you know, it's unfortunate we have to wait till practically the 11th hour to hold the special town meeting, but it just, you know, it was beyond our control to do that. And it also has to be done. We do have to make a vote. If we want to stay in compliance with the MBTA, we have to make some sort of a vote by the end of the year. So.
Yeah, I know folks aren't going to be pleased that it's kind of down in the holiday season, but to your point, John, this isn't a process that we should rush, and as you said, we're waiting to hear back from the state, so...
We have heard back.
Yeah, no, I know, but I'm saying that wait kind of stalled us a little bit.
Oh, yeah, 3 months.
Right, so you factor that all in, am I psyched that it's in December? No, but I feel better that we didn't try to push this through any faster than we can, because you really can't. You have to follow, what we need to follow, so.
I think the zoning bylaw committee is going to make a presentation of on the MBTA one, a very good alternative for us. And I think, it required a lot of thought, obviously, and a lot of practice, and a lot of things had to be arranged, including whatever the state came back and told us about. So, to your point, exactly. We couldn't rush it any faster than we did. So we're doing the best we can on it. So.
Yep.
Okay, so we need to
vote on the date.
On the date for the special town meeting, right?
Yes.
Can I just ask really quick, Joe? Cody, we are sending out warrants, right? Because I know, isn't there a statute we don't have to for special? But we are going to special.
We'll send out the warrant.
Good.
This has high-level zoning changes.
Yeah, I would be a fan of sending it out.
We'll send it out.
Excellent.
I think it's a bylaw. Zoning bylaw.
Not for special?
Our general bylaw says the annual warrant has to be sent out.
But where you say this is a lot of moving parts, I'm a fan of actually sending it out to folks in advance. Yeah.
If we come back to the finance committee for a transfer at the end of the year, don't be surprised. The cost of printing is very expensive.
Yes, it is.
Especially now that Mr. Campbell's out there.
Yeah.
Does this get posted? Can it be posted on the website?
It will be, yeah. It'll be posted on the website almost immediately after the board approves it, and then it obviously takes a little more time to get in the mail, but it'll get sent out as well.
Also posted in 3 public places, the library, the post office, and someone's house.
Where is the other place?
John's house. I think it's at John's house. It's not at John's house.
Yeah, the library, there's 5 different places. So it's library, school, here in Town Hall. And then I think one goes to down at Lindy's. I think someone said that. Yeah. And one other
I
place.
can't remember. We have the constable post them.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, so I'll make that motion that we schedule the special town meeting for December 16th, 2024.
Second.
A rain date, well, we really need to do another one, just that's the date.
Yep. Second.
Thank you. Any discussion? No. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? It's unanimous. The warrant stuff takes care of itself. We don't have to handle that.
Nope, so at your September 10th meeting, we'll have an agenda item to open the special town meeting warrant. And then we'll have you vote actually the same meeting to have it close on the 4th of November.
All right, so we basically have 2 things on the agenda: review of the Tabor McSherry regarding the dog hearing, his plan, and the National Grid electric vehicle charging station. Have a preference as to which one we go with?
All up to you, Mr. Chair.
All right, let's do the National Grid one.
Sure. So you may recall Kathy Stanley, our energy manager, has been very busy for tons of different energy initiatives. One of the things that she's been able to work on is bringing in some level 3 chargers. So you see the EV chargers, a lot of them are these level 2 chargers, which is what we have here in Town Hall. Can take 10, 12 hours to fully charge a vehicle. Level 3 is are the very fast ones. 3/4 of a average full vehicle will take 45 minutes an hour. But they're very expensive, to the tune of a couple $100,000, including all the infrastructure. So Kathy was able to work with National Grid to get them to cover the full cost of. It's 2 chargers with each having 2 on it. So it'll be 4 total level 3 chargers. The thought would be to put them over across the street at the Hops Playground area, closest to the road, those 4 spots. I have a proposed site plan as it is now, and those details will be worked out. But we need the board to approve the agreement with National Grid. Council reviewed it. There was one concern about an easement, which I have addressed with National Grid. If an easement is required, it'll come back to the board with the exact details of the easement. It very well could be required, but that's pretty standard. If they have to put a pole in, they'll want the easement to put their pole. But the gist of it is we're not on the hook for anything. National Grid will cover an incentive of $296,000, and anything that were to go over that, Livingston Energy, which is the vendor that Kathy has been working with, would cover the cost. So we have a $0 obligation for this.
Kathy's been fantastic. She really has. I mean, the amount of money that she's saved our town while pushing us to more carbon-friendly stuff is fantastic. So I'm thrilled. Cody, is it going to be like a charge station where you're an app or something and similar to what they had at Stop and Shop up there?
Yep. Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
So the exact details of what brand of charger, I don't think we have that yet, but it would be something to that extent.
Okay.
We'll have control over it and charge for it, obviously. In Massachusetts, we can't make a profit on energy.
Correct.
But we would charge for what our cost is, which with our new energy contracts that Kathy got us, is actually lower than what most residential customers are paying anyways. So it'd still be a bargain for their residents.
Yeah, she's been a huge asset. I'm thrilled at what she's been doing for us.
Okay, any other comments, questions? Do you need a motion?
Who's manufacturing the chargers? Do we know?
I don't have the brand of them yet, no, the manufacturer.
There's a number of manufacturers out there that are undergoing lawsuits for the quick chargers because cars are burned up being plugged into them. So I think we should just vet that.
We will. Kathy is a pit bull when it comes to these things, and I'm not going to claim to know everything about energy, but she does, and she is our advocate, and she'll make sure that we're getting the highest.
And the users are going to pay for the electricity coming out.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
Absolutely. Yeah. Just like, you would at most places.
Like power availability, like a data center, like the power's there. We have to pay for it to be there for someone to use it. We don't have to do that.
Well, I mean, it'll be on their own meters. It'll be a separately metered account. So we'll have, I think it's like a $7 charge, for the meter, and then what the actual usage is.
Right. Because the new rate with the new vendor that we have electricity through it costs more from the state and federal charges than it does for the actual electricity.
Yeah, we'll cover our costs. We'll charge completely to cover our costs.
Okay, any other comments, questions? Do you have a motion to approve the contract with Eversource?
Yep, and just also, I would need you to vote to allow me to sign because it's an online signature form.
All right, so that's part of the motion. I'll make that motion that we approve the contract with Eversource and authorize the town administrator to sign on behalf of the town.
I'll gladly second that.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? It's unanimous. Okay, so the last thing on our agenda here is the follow-up from the dog hearing from last meeting. We did get a letter, I guess, from Tabor McSherry, and everybody has a copy of it. It says Cassius has begun further training to become better socialized with other dogs. He's also begun muzzle training pursuant to the
Up here. Thank you.
board's decision on August 13th. Further, Ms. Chase, no, I don't say that wrong.
Chassis.
Is not, I think he says if, it says it is, but I think he means if Ms. Chassis is not available to take him for a walk, then I will be able to do it myself, or Cassius will go without a walk that day.
And that's a copy of the letter that we sent out to them.
Yeah, so this is just the letter that we sent him telling him what we decided. I don't know what the board's pleasure on this.
I mean, I can lead off. I was in the minority on the vote that day. I'm not sure that the seriousness of the events is taken into consideration here with his response. I think this is a little weak, a little half-efforted, and I'd like more information and more detail as to the recommendations. I mean, we made out 3 to 4 recommendations. We quite frankly crossed over, voted it a nuisance dog, and put in ramifications that were deemed necessary for a dangerous dog. So frankly, I believe we cut him a break, and I don't believe this is representative of the seriousness of what happened. So I'd like more. My understanding is that also it took that amount of time for the dog to be licensed in town, which should have happened the next morning. Not to belabor the point, but I think this is iffy at best as a response.
So would you want him to come back to the board, or do you want him to follow?
Well, I think it's appropriate that at least he renegotiate or redraft his letter. I mean, right here in our bullet point to him, there are 4 items addressed. In his 3-sentence email, there are 1.5 of those 4 addressed. Unless I'm reading it wrong. So I think that's appropriate that we ask for a little bit more, especially in consideration of the fact that I believe, there was at least some convenience given to him and leniency given to him at the time, given the seriousness of what happened.
Okay. John, any comments?
Yeah, I can see what Tom's saying there. I don't know if he's being purposely vague or anything. It might just be that he's not, maybe he doesn't write, I don't want to cut him slack,
Oh, I'm not commenting on the grammar or the writing. I'm commenting on the fact that both the letter and the license were satisfied today, which was his deadline.
Sure.
Somebody Pam or Cody took quite a bit of time typing this up, and most people can do this inside of 45 seconds. Sure. I'm not sure that anything was addressed or the seriousness of what happened has been mitigated by anything that he's done.
So how would you want to handle it? You want to ask him to come back in?
Yeah, I think it's appropriate. I mean, he says anytime bullet point number 1, anytime the dog's off the property must be triple restrained as explained. Nowhere in his letter does it explain that. He says the dog's undergone training, Ms. Chassie will walk the dog, or I will, or we'll let it walk. Where's the acknowledgement of the triple restraint? Item number 2, talk of a fence. He did indicate that night that he has a fence. Do we know that he has a fence? Is it confirmed that he has a fence? Number 3, written plan that will address the dog to prevent further issues. The dog's undergoing training. Where, when, how, by who is appropriate. Not, stay in your living room. I think we need something a little bit more than that. I think we deserve it. I think the victim deserves that. And number 4, muzzled off the property. He did address that. The license was satisfied. The license was satisfied, by the way, today, the day of the deadline.
Okay.
I think it's appropriate that it be readdressed. I do.
Next meeting? Okay.
So we can ask him to come in, but we'll also ask him to update his plan and try to provide that to us in advance, so you have something to review ahead of time as well.
Okay, so I don't know if we need a motion on that, but we can we'll just put that on the agenda for next week and have them come in.
Valid points.
All right. Let's see here. Okay, so we're down to updates.
MBTA action plan, we really don't have anything beyond what we discussed. Staffing and operations, I have a few things. So our next meeting on the 10th, we'll have our tax classification hearing. Our principal assessor and our board of assessors will be in to make a presentation to you. Hopefully we'll have some interesting data in there that I think will be a great presentation to the board for you to set the shift. We're working on several grant applications for different projects going on in town. A few of them are the government study committee, which you will also be reviewing at the next meeting. We're going to apply for a grant to get some technical assistance, professional technical assistance to support that group, so it doesn't come out of the town's budget. We're going to apply for funding for the updated master plan, and then we're also looking to apply for funding to hire some part-time staff to scan in documents to get more of our documents online so residents have constant access to them 24/7. I mentioned earlier that our HR study with the Collins Center is wrapping up, and we should have that final report in the next couple of months, which we'll plan a wage and personnel meeting to review and adopt several of those policies, hopefully. And then my other update, which is great news, is tomorrow I am going to Bridgewater, and I will be interviewing finalists for the conservation agent. So we should be making a decision and hopefully get them on by mid-end of September.
I see in the package, we didn't talk about that we have a town thing. I'm not sure why this is in there.
It was the second candidate.
It was the second candidate for conservation that the...
Oh, he never got back to
Yeah, I just wanted to include it and show you that there were 2 applicants.
All right, anything else to come before the board?
Mr. Chair, I just have one thing. I just have to remind those that are still interested that we have an 8/31 deadline for talent bank submission forms for the governmental study. We were looking for at least 5 members to submit the talent bank forms for those that are interested.
How many have we received?
2 or 3?
2 or 3?
Not 5.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
for those that are willing to commit time volunteering, and we say thank you for those that do volunteer, for those that are willing to pick up a new hobby. 8/31 is a new deadline. Reminder. Thank you.
Okay, anything else coming?
Yeah, tonight's a big night. I hate to say it, kids, tonight is a school night. First school night in a long time. So personally, I'd like to wish Tom, his little one, getting on the bus for the first time, so enjoy every second. And then just to the residents out there, please take it easy on the roads, especially during school times. And yeah, I wish everybody good luck. Have a good year.
Amen.
Oh, just one other thing I forgot to mention. Obviously, we posted the notification from DPH, Department of Public Health, on the mosquitoes. Halifax was one of the communities elevated to high-risk, critical. They'll be doing some spraying in the area, aerial spraying in the area this week. We just got word that they're actually going to start tonight. We'll get that posted on our website. It may extend beyond tonight. There's also a map of where they're going to spray in Halifax, which we'll share the link to. It is, well, it's a little bit of everywhere, but we'll get that information posted. And then just the Board of Health has really good information on precautions to take, so check out their website. Bob Valerie, our health agent, does an excellent job of keeping that updated. So tons of precautions there. Bob and I have met several times about this and, discussed if there's a need for restrictions and recreation restrictions. I don't think we're there yet, and Bob doesn't think we're there yet, but we'll continuously monitor the situation and take the guidance from the state and keep the board updated and keep the residents updated.
Great.
Okay, anything else?
That's all, folks.
Excellent. All right, I'll take a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? It's unanimous. We'll be back in 2 weeks.
Sounds good.